Hi guys, so today we'll see how we do auditing in LCP France. It's based on like two very simple steps. So just let me share my screen and we can start. Okay, so first thing first, we're all using the same accounting application. It's called Wave. So basically, what we do on Wave is that we list all of our incomes and expenses, basically everything that is in the bank account, and then we put justifications in order to make sure that those transitions are true and they have like a clear meaning. So as you can see, I'm using an old account of one of our LCs. And first thing is that I'm going to go here to accounting and to transactions, sorry. Okay, so as a change, okay, so as you can see, it's from a while back, but here how it is. So basically, your LCP Finance, or you, if you don't have one, need to come to this page first. And first, you need to put either an income or an expense before you do anything else. So let's put an income, for example. I don't know, like GB is 300. So here you can choose a category, for example, OGB. It's great, and under account, you have to choose between cash on hand or checking account. You always choose checking account. The reason why is that is because the checking account is bank account, so it's a transaction that we'll see there. So after you create, and make sure that you put the right date. So after we create this one, we have to go to sales invoices, and here we'll create the justification for an income. So when it comes to incomes, we created them here. And when it comes to expenses, we upload them basically because we need receipts. So how to create an invoice? You come here, you add the customer. I'm just gonna create a new one. Create a customer. Okay. So let's just put Elise, for example. If you want, you can put more details, either like email, phone, or some other contact. Just put save. Now here, like this changes with every invoice that you make, but here you have to make sure that you put the right date. Now the date is the date that you got paid, basically. And after that, you come here to an item. Here the prices are different because it's kind of old. And you choose the right currency and save and continue. Now, the next step is that you have to approve the draft, so make sure that you put everything right. If you want, you can send the invoice to the customer, but because we use contracts as that, you don't really have to, unless of course they want. Then you can just skip sending, and finally you record the payment. And you put the same date, price, and here you have to choose basically how you got the payment. It's always by back, and then checking account, so it will match with the transaction that we make first, and close. Now we go back we go back to transactions, and the next step is that we merge them. So let me show you how it's done. So we choose the OGV here and the payment from Elise, and we merge. Why it's not? Okay. So yeah, we put the price here. So let's see now. Merge. Cool. So you can see it here. Now I got this question a lot because as you can see here, you can verify it basically by verifying the. Just give it a second. So yeah, basically by verifying it just turns green. It doesn't make any change either during the audit or during wave. And just I think like when you verify, you cannot make any changes. But yeah, that is totally up to you. I mean, you want to change anything regarding our accounting. So now the next one will be to end an expense. So we come here again, as you can see as an expense, the price, the amount, it's on red. So we can put, for example, marketing. Okay, cool. Let's say 10 euros, and we can find a category that matches. For now, I'm just gonna leave it to an uncategorized expense, but you can change it. Or like you can also create your checking account. When you don't find a category that matches, you can create your own. Just make sure that you don't put the same name to an income and to an expense. If you do that, the transactions might get confused, and then you end have unbalanced balance sheet. That's something we're gonna see later on. So after we create the transaction here, we go to receipts. Okay, so as you can see, we have different here. Unfortunately, because I don't have that expense, I cannot put a receipt. But what you have to do is basically upload one. So you press here, and then you choose the one from your computer. And afterwards, you wait for it to be approved. Then you validate, and you merge it again the same way we did with the income. So this is what your LCP finance should do. So the second part of it is that I hope you heard by now the GFP consolidated report. Basically, it's something that we have from and it's the same, similar to WAVE and to your back statement. But it's more of like we could kind of categorize all together all the expenses and the incomes. Like for example, let's come here. Okay. So what you have to do is that like you sum up all of the like for example here all of the exchanges that you did, depending on the product, and you put the final price here. So these are for our products. Then you have like different conferences. If you have any other revenues, you can just put it that directly here. And we have the exact same thing for our cost, for our expenses. And one last thing that you need to put on this report, and some people forget because it's kind of like later on. Basically, you have to put the first day of the month, how much you have in the bank account and how much you have on the last day. Petty cash, for the people that don't know, it's the amount of money that you have on you. Now, I will advise you that you don't that you try to not have cash on you. Like if it's possible, like put it directly in the bank, because that's like you kind of minimize the risk of getting them lost. In case you have debt or unpaid invoices, you can also put them here, like how much you have in the beginning of the month and how much you have at the end of the month. And that's pretty much it, because from the formulas, whatever you put on the form, it will show here. And that's it about the GFP report. Now, back to WAVE. There's one more thing that we advise the LCPs finance to put here. Basically, it's the bank statement, because it's easier for the people that are checking the audit to find it. So how can you put it? Basically, you come here, you put add expense, and then you set the amount to 0 and the description to bank statement. You can leave the category to either like uncategorized expenses, sorry, or you can create a category bank statement for this. And then you just upload it through a receipt. And like it is as simple as that. Now, some LCs can face difficulties when it comes to it. So when that is a problem, we ask you to tell your NSPs, hey, I cannot upload my bank statement. Can I share it directly with you, like by email or by Facebook, or like create a specific folder on Drive? That's up to you. But it's easier for everyone if you just upload it here. So basically, that is what audit is all about. You just have to make sure that you press either add an income or add an expense. If not, that's going to mess up your transactions. And the way that we check the audit is very similar. Basically, the most important thing for us is the bank statement, so we know like what kind of transactions that you had, and we can come here and be like, okay, this one matches, this one doesn't. And then that you put the justifications, because yes, like we spend that money, but we need to know that it actually went where it should be. So in case we have like an external auditor, like we are safe. The third part, of course, is the GFP report. That is important because if we don't fill it correctly, we might face problems with I. That's why I ask you like to pay a lot of attention when you put it. And basically that's how we check the audits. We come here with the bank statement, we check what is right and what is not, we check the GFP report. And one last thing that we check as the audit team, as NSDs, it's here. Basically, you go a bit down, you press reports, and then you go to balance sheet. And we need to know that, where is it? Yeah, okay. So basically what is here, like checking account, is the same as total in the bank, of course, but this number here should match this number here. That's how we know. That is the reason I ask you to not have cash on hand. If you choose that in the transactions, it's what I meant by saying it's going to be unbalanced. So basically, this is the audit. It's quite simple. The more tricky part is that if you have a lot of transactions, you have to keep an eye on them and not let them until the last moment. So yeah. with you and your LCP finance, I would say that to create the pattern that will help you both. So this was it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful. If you need any more help regarding the audit, or if you have any questions, I didn't explain something correctly, please let me know. Other than that, good luck and nice auditing. Bye.